And welcome back to the WJCU Sports Halftime Show. My name is Nikolena Samac, and I am joined here with sophomore linebacker Davon Badley. Davon, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you in the studio and for this interview as we're getting ready to kick off against Barry. And I really feel like there's no better way to start this interview than to relive last week's huge win against longtime rival Mount Union. What did that moment feel like to you when that final stop was made during the fourth down in overtime?
It felt very huge. I was very energetic and like my blood was going and everybody was just hyped about it. People running off this sideline to the field, and it was just like a crazy environment at that point.
Yeah, I know we were literally itching to leave the press box. We were like, okay, wrap up. See you guys next week. And we just wanted to get down to the field immediately. What was the message in the locker room after that game, just from the coaches and even from other teammates?
Just from Coach Behrman's like point of view, he was just saying like, oh, like this is not the last game. Now we got something else to prove, and like keep going, moving forward, and everything. Keep working and grinding every single week that comes to us.
Yeah, I know he mentioned that as well in the post game. He was like, we're going to take some time to celebrate, but, we're also going to focus on what's coming up next. So in that game, you had a season high of 11 tackles with 2.5 for loss. And we were calling your name a lot up in the press box. You had a really great game. What was your mentality heading into that weekend, and how did you prepare for such a big game during the week?
I prepare it started off with the scout team, like helping me prepare myself for like some good old linemen that we're going against and everything. And mentally, I was like just like in that dog mentality, and like I had to be aggressive off the line as soon as I started. I had to beat the best old lineman in the state, or however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was beating them, but I can say that I was very ready and prepared for them.
Yeah, it's definitely a physical game, but it's also mental as well. You go in confident and prepared, and really that translates onto the field. You are just a sophomore, and you've had a significant role on the field since your freshman year, where you recorded 13 tackles between both games against Mount, 6 in a tackle for loss against BW, which is always a really big game in the OAC, and you had a pick 6 against Heidelberg. How awesome has it been for you as such a young player to make such a big impact on this team?
It's been very amazing, and like just me seeing how much I've grown from last year to this year. It's like you can see that I'm actually like increasing with my stats and how my speed and my physicality been. So I can't say like I'm being selfish about it, but it's just more of a like I wouldn't be able to do this without my teammates.
Absolutely. 100%. I know we've seen a lot of players this year who were freshmen to sophomores or sophomores to juniors who really talked about how much more football IQ they've added this year, how much more mature they feel, and just the learning experiences jumping from conference to conference. And, you did experience 1 year in the OAC and now this year in the NCAC. Were there any noticeable differences from your perspective, or did you prepare any differently for this season?
I can say that it was very big, a big difference between both of the OAC and the NCAC, because the OAC it was more of always run and like more hitting to it, but the NCAC there's more passing and more like you got to actually read people, and I feel like it's an equally matched, but at the end of the day you still got to play your heart out and still be that dog.
And so, as the team's getting warmed up for the game down at Barry, and in Georgia, the weather's also warming up. It's looking like it's going to be in the 60s by kickoff, which is pretty great for us, considering last week it was about a third of that. Has this been put into consideration by the team at all? Has anyone thought about the warmer weather?
No, not really, because I mean it's Ohio. We stay in Ohio, so it's like it's gonna either be warm or cold. So everybody's just happy that it's gonna be warm down there. And even if we played in the cold, we're still ready for it. But at the end of the day, we still got to be prepared and come out ready to just win.
So there's been a lot of great linebackers on the team this year, including yourself, Kenny Grabalsic, Chris Golson, Mason Russ, and we could go on and on down the roster. How do you guys all lift each other up during the preseason and in season to have such a strong linebacker room and strong performances this year?
Well, let's start off with just communicating with each other. After Chris got hurt last year, it was like everybody was all around. Like Mason Russ wasn't really in, or Kenny wasn't in for real, but now this year, like in the spring, we was always talking together and everything, like coming together as a group. And like even in the Mount game, like when it was like a big stop, we literally came to each other and was just like, okay, it's time to lock in and like nut up a little bit and just be real physical with them.
So we've seen a lot about an increase in brotherhood this year, and a lot of guys talking about doing their 1/11th and just playing the best they can every week to continue the season along. How do you mentally and physically prepare, in the morning before a game to give the best 1/11th you can every Saturday?
Honestly, just driving from my house all the way to the field is just me listening to my music and just getting in the zone a little bit. And then once I come down to the locker room, like I'm just in that mode, like already just waiting to just get on the field and just hit something.
And we talked about weather a couple questions before this, but in the back half of the season, the weather has started to become kind of a factor. Temperatures drop, winds pick up. I noticed you grew up in Painesville, so you're fairly familiar with that really cold Northeast Ohio winter. But how have you seen the weather maybe begin to challenge our team or even the other teams that we're facing?
I mean, our team, I can say that most people grew up in Ohio or closer to Cleveland and all like Pennsylvania and all that stuff. So I can't really say like it's been a big challenge for us just because in the spring we was bear crawling and ice and snow like that and snow and blizzards and running in it. But for other teams, like just from them coming from like Virginia and stuff that's warmer, I feel like that's a bigger challenge for them just because like they never practiced in it or never played in it. So it's like a big change for them.
Yeah, definitely. And as we're getting ready to kick off against Barry in just a few minutes here, I just kind of want to ask, how exciting has this season been for you overall, and what would you say is one of your favorite memories so far?
I feel like this season is very exciting, and one of the best memories I can like remember is us winning against DePaul, and maybe even two memories is DePaul and Mount Union because just having a conference championship and then beating Mount like after so many years, it's just a big accomplishment for us.
Yeah, I think the 6-hour football game is definitely going to go down in history for everybody involved in that situation. We used to joke after, we know Coach Travis would also talk about bringing the tsunami.
Yep.
And we were like, you're banned from talking about water for the rest of the season. No more bringing the tsunami.
He says it every week and reminds us that we're always a tsunami.
Absolutely. So that does wrap up our football questions, but we do have 3 fun questions so our listeners can kind of get to know your personality off the field. So outside of football, what sport do you think or wish that you could go pro in?
I'm going to say basketball. I'm a great defender, even though I don't really do good at offense, but I can say I'm a great defender, and I'm very physical in the box.
Oh, yeah, I think defense is just as important as offense in basketball. Absolutely. It's such a close contact sport. At any level of football, which team has your favorite jerseys?
Ooh. I'm going to say Ohio State. And they're all black jerseys. Yep, they're all black jerseys.
That's a very popular. I honestly think we might have had that as our last 3. That's a very popular answer. And I mean, understandably, of course. And final question, who on the team has your favorite celebration and can you describe it?
I'm going to say Ben Day because he did the little Spider-Man just shooting the webs.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
After he got the sack, so it was just like, it was a big moment. It was funny.
That is super funny. I wish we could have seen that one from the press box. I'm sure there's a video of it somewhere. But that does wrap up our final question. Davon, thank you so much for coming into the studio with us today. And good luck as we get ready to kick off against Barry in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
And for our listeners, stay tuned because after this, just one more segment until myself and Owen Close are on the call down in Georgia. So stay tuned right here on your radio home for Blue Streak Athletics, WJCU 88.7.